I was gonna say, Craig, when did you buy that?
Rewind. Barber College Success, brought to you by Craig Charles of Crown Cuts Academy, Bristol, Crown Cuts Academy, Johnson City, and Craig's Crown Cuts Barbershop downtown. Spreading love the JC way is the only way we know how to do it, is the Crown Cuts way. We got a banging topic today. We got my co-host who just literally just came off the plane. He got off his private jet and just landed and came to the podcast. Yeah, that's how dedicated he is. But we got some former guests and we got a new guest. But again, spreading love the JC way. Thank you, Lathan, again for showing some love, Market Street Media. And thank you to Barber College Success, the second ranked podcast in the world, the number one barber content podcast in the country. Feed Spot. Appreciate that. Spreading love again. That's impressive. It threw me off when I found out I was the second ranked podcast in the world. Number one in the US for barber content. Hey, let's do it. And shout out to my sponsors, Colossal Brand as well. But we're going to let my guests introduce themselves, and we're going to talk about this major topic.
Am I Fields? Am I your barber? Blessed to be here again. I was in San Antonio at 7 a.m. this morning. Shout out to everybody that's listening in Texas. I'm happy to be here.
You know, we got Brielle in Texas who listened to the podcast, and she drove 17 hours. So
17?
Yeah, she drove 17 hours just to see what this podcast is about. So, hey, the proof is in the pudding.
I'm Kate Milbourne. I just started barber school at Crown Cuts. Just finished my first week. Excited to be here.
I'm Chris Woods. I'm a graduate from Crown Cuts Academy. I work at the Crown Cuts Barbershop. It's nice to be here again, Craig.
One time.
Hey, I'm Landon Barham, aka the Hair Slinging Slasher. I work at Hometown Barbers now. I moved up to Jonesboro. So, yeah.
And you like to eat what?
We ain't starting this.
Oh, man. This chicken sandwich from Popeyes.
Oh, he's a chicken sandwich guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
I told you this is a thing, Craig. You thought I was joking.
That's him.
It was like 3 or 4 a day, right? That's what was happening.
Man, he's at like 4.
Oh,
Every
man.
podcast, we'll take a count. We're at 1 right now. The record's 14.
14?
Oh,
Dang. Oh, y'all hear that?
No, not 14 chicken sandwiches. 14 times this guy brings up me eating 4 chicken sandwiches.
But today we got a special topic. It kind of hit me by surprise. Well, not by surprise. I know we put a lot of content in this podcast, and we are accomplishing our goal to spread the message, introduce people to barber, and let them know what it feels like to understand what to be in school, what to be a barber, how to be a barber. I want to start by reading a quote that I got from this barber book, Barbershops of America. I started cutting hair probably in 1954 when I was about 17 years old, the 10th grade, sort of finding my way. And I found out I like it. And I stayed with it. And I guess now I love it. And I hate to give it up. And I plan to do it until I can't do it no more. That's Kenneth Hogan Sr. in Cuts and Bends Barbershop in Oakland, California. Shout out to you, Kenneth. So what we're going to do today, we're just going to talk about how we started barbering. What inspired us? What gave us that oomph to get into this industry? Because we have to start from somewhere. Everyone has a different story. And what I hope to do today is catch that person who's on the fence, letting them know you don't have to be aspiring to be a barber all your life to jump into this wonderful industry. It's something that can take you to the next level and something that you'll enjoy. Like myself, when I tell people I've never had a bad day in the shop, I've never said that I didn't want to go to work since 2004. We're in 2021 and I love what I do. And once you find your passion, you don't work.
I love it. And it's really cool because it seems like I always wanted to be a part of something bigger than myself.
Right.
And barbering is like such a universal thing and historical, like since the dawn of time. Like, I mean, it always had barbers, whether it was some caveman with a sharp rock or something like that.
Yeah.
Somebody was cutting hair. So I really feel like I'm a part of the storytellers of the world.
Right. You are. I mean, it's one of the oldest profession.
Yeah, and something that I've noticed just in the first week is it's such a diverse group of people. I really love how it includes everybody, you know? It
Right.
doesn't discriminate. Barbering, like everybody can cut hair, you know? And everybody needs to get their hair cut. And it's just I really like the group of people that I've come into this first week at barber school. It's so cool. I love the diversity, all the different backgrounds. It's really neat.
That's good. That's good. Mr. Woods, what do you think?
Barbering has just been something that I've always been interested in. Like, it started back when I was like 12. I got my haircut on the front porch of my steps, and it was the best haircut I had, you know. And well, in my mind, it was because he like broke a razor blade and used it on my head that way, you know. And ever since then, it, I wanted to be able to do something like that. I want to make somebody feel the way that I felt. You know what I mean? Like it was one of the first times I felt that way, and it just came out through my
That's
work,
it.
I guess.
I mean, that's important.
That's that.
Having that feeling that you're doing something that's worthwhile. You have substance. You're giving people energy. You're giving people a vibe, and they keep coming back. And you showing them love. They showing you love, and you both smiling when y'all interacting. When y'all leave, y'all both smiling.
Right.
It's a wonderful thing.
That's what it's all about.
Most definitely.
LBC.
I just do it for the money.
That is also a positive.
No.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I swear.
You just want to buy enough sandwiches. That's what it is.
That's two. No, I got into it just because, like, growing up, I think every little kid where I was from hated getting their hair cut. I know it's like a weird way to say it. That's how I figured I wanted to be a barber. But after like high school, I started really wanting to pay attention, like how I look, and I was like grew out pretty long. Like I looked like Coconut Head from Ned's Declassified a lot growing up, so I wanted to stop that. And I asked the barber I switched to, Robert Sarnes at Doyle's Barbershop in Greenville. I was like, how's like barbering work? Like, how do you like make money? And he just like broke it down to me. I was like, I could probably do this. This sounds a lot funner than going to normal college. And it took a little while to get going, mostly because some people thought I was going to be broke and homeless trying to be a barber, but
Look at you now.
I know. Look at me now.
So confident he let his mustache grow out.
Okay.
Yeah. No, go ahead. Tell the people real quick how you described whenever Kate couldn't find her and I went down to help her find her way up here, what to look for.
The guy with the whiskers.
And he wonders why I don't come visit him at the school no more. I work hard on this thing.
The sporadic whispers. Yeah, but I mean, but that's the joy of barbering, though. Just having that camaraderie, how we can sit here and laugh about we're in the same profession from all different walks of life. Like you said, Kate, it's just an array of just people from everywhere, real diverse, real cultural. And you go into a shop and the experience is and the feeling is just priceless.
Another cool thing, when I went to San Antonio, we stayed at this Airbnb, which was owned by a dentist, and it was his inn. It was like an inn, little house by the Riverwalk. If y'all know where it's at in San Antonio. Well, I went around the corner and there was an old barber chair there. I'm like, that's crazy. And then as we were eating breakfast, the owner came out and I was like, man, I really like your barber chair. I'm a barber. That's really cool. And he was like, actually, I come from a family of barbers. He said, I just actually became the dentist. So he went the other direction of it. But he owned the inn. I was like, I thought that was just the coolest thing. He said his granddad was a barber, his dad was a barber, his brother was a barber. It's just unreal how it works. I mean, it's just we're just connected. Just connected everybody.
And then that's the love, because once you meet a barber, you can just talk for days. You can talk for days. Kate, stop being scared.
I was nervous when I first came in, but I'm fine now.
I know
You good now?
I'm good now.
It's a microphone.
You in the building?
What?
So you're in the building, Kate?
I'm in the building.
That's what I'm talking about. Just that love that you have for people is just phenomenal, because again, I can't even explain to people the joy that I've had just from working over the years. I mean, it's something that you almost have to do for yourself to understand that I haven't met a barber yet who haven't had the joy.
Right, right. Like like Craig was saying, like it's a wonderful feeling, you know, like you come in, like see somebody upset or not having their best day, and they leave and they're having a great day. You know what I mean? Like you changed that day, you gave them hope for that day. You know, so like that feeling is just straight up love. You know what I mean? Like in the best way possible.
Yeah, one of the things that actually helped me to like jump into barbering was I watched the new Disney movie Soul. I don't know if you
Ooh,
guys have seen
Mm.
that, but
yep.
like there was a barber in that who was pretty instrumental, and like I just really liked the confidence that he gave the main character after the cut. It was really cool, and I
Mm.
like that, and I
Uh,
see that
s- s-
improving your appearance like really
right.
gives you confidence and whatever.
So talking about that, how did you get into barbering, Kate? Talk about that. How did you get into
Um,
barbering, and what? Talk about your background and what you do, and how you found this interesting career.
well, to start, I was homeschooled for high school. I went to a normal-ish school in the middle school and elementary, but um, I was reaching the end of high school, and I'm a Christian, right? So I was like, I made a full commitment, like, God, you can do something better with my life than I can, like just
That's
give it
valuable.
all
That's
up.
important.
Anyway,
We gotta praise the Most High.
yes, exactly. So after that, I was just praying for guidance. I was open to a lot of different things, and I took an interest inventory. Myers Briggs has this little career test thing. Um,
How long ago?
I think like 3 or 4 months,
Hmm.
so pretty recently. But the top thing on that was cosmetology, and I was like, "That's interesting. I've never thought about that before." Um, and so from there, I was like, "Well, I'm not really into the cosmetology side." Um, so I poked around a little bit just on the interwebs and found barbering, and I was like, "Yo, that's really cool." So then I cut my grandfather's hair, my brother's hair, and then trimmed my dad's beard, and I was like the quote says, I liked it. And I just thought this is so cool. I've always been more of a hands-on kind of learner, and so I, yeah, I never really wanted to go to college. Like I'm done with
Right.
traditional school, man. That was too much. But yeah, I'm really enjoying barber school, and
It's only
I'm
been
excited.
a week,
Yeah,
and it's
and
only been less than about 3 months.
yep,
So what that's telling me is that that's something you just kind of just came up with. It just like just kind of dropped in your lap
yeah,
through prayer, and I mean that's a major thing. Opposed to like Woods. Woods said he was 12 years old.
Something like that. 12, 11 years old.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and getting that. So I mean, there's so many different ways we can get into this industry. There's so many different ways we can get into this industry.
I mean, yeah, and it's crazy how it worked out because mine was kind of the same similar situation. Not so much the homeschool and all that, but like, I was doing something that I wasn't really happy with. I was a correctional officer, and I worked at a prison, and there's a lot of good people in prison. I mean, it's great. I mean, honestly, and people don't believe that when you hear it, but there's a lot of genuine people, and it seemed like I was an oppressor, and I felt like I was oppressed. Like like everybody, we was cool, but like we couldn't break that, that level playing. Hey, you here, I'm here. You know what I'm saying? So, and I didn't like that feeling. Like, I wanted to come back down to earth and be around people, no matter who they are, where they were, what they did with their lives, and be able to communicate with them and be on the same level playing field. And that's one thing that inspired me to do the barbering, because I felt like I could connect with everybody.
So how did you know barbering was it?
I didn't at first. I'll be honest with you. I thought it was just another avenue to another job. Sometimes you think, I mean, and there's nothing wrong with that. And there's a lot of barbers right now that this might not be that there might be another step for you. It might not be barbering. It might not be that, but there's something past that. But I felt like when I first did it, I felt like it was cool. It looked cool. You know what I'm saying? Everybody respects a barber, no matter what your walk of life is, and a good haircut. But until I went to a hair show and I met, I'll shout him out, Vic Blends. I
Mhm.
met him. He was still young, up and coming. He wasn't. I mean, he. I'm sure in his mind he was where he was now, but he wasn't quite there yet. Tyreek Jackson was
Mhm.
there, and uh, Tyreek Jackson really. I can tell you the exact moment that the whole barbering thing changed my mind is because I ran into Tyreek Jackson, And I met Vic, and Vic, Vic's hip. What's up? And dap him up. What's up, Vic? You know what I'm saying? They're lined up. They're still, I'm like, what's up, Vic? Dap him up, bring his shoulder in. You know what I'm saying? He's like, yeah, what's up? Like shoes. All right, cool. And then I walk up to Tyree Jackson, and I almost come out with a dap. And then I look Tyree Jackson. He looked me in my eyes, and he stuck out a hand for a handshake like this, as if he's saying, "You gonna respect? I earned this respect. You gonna give it to me?" And right there in my mind, I was like, anything that I want to do or be, or whoever you are, could happen right here in the barber industry.
Right, for sure. Definitely. So go ahead, Kate.
That was something also for me. I never really felt ambitious about anything in life. Like I would just kind of float through, like try a couple of things. I like this, but nothing serious. But I really want to be a good barber, and I felt ambition for the first time, like serious ambition, and that was another really green flag for me.
And that's where
getting
the
into barbering.
passion will come out. Yep. So when you hear Kate and Emma talk about their story, what resonates with you? What do you think about when you hear them just pour their heart out about what got them into this industry?
I mean, I'm kind of like with Kate, in all honesty. I never had anything I was really like super passionate about it growing up. I just kind of wanted to float and do my own thing, just see where life took me. And somehow, some way, I just went up deciding like, yeah, I could give this a try. And met Craig, saw the passion he has, met other people, saw the passion they had, and realized there's so much more to this than on the outside. Like the person coming into your shop won't notice.
Right.
Mostly, you get some people that know you care, but most people I've been around just they look at the haircut, decide it's good, and they go home.
Right.
They don't think about the time and effort you put into it. But those few like I was seeing that were putting their heart and soul into it, I realized like this is a legitimate career. This isn't just a hobby.
Right.
Or this isn't just side income. This is like their life is doing this, however you do it. So that just kind of took over me, and there might have been some ups and downs in school, some confidence issues, but
that's part of it.
yeah,
But I mean, it was that's life.
yeah.
But it's worth it. What about you,
Yeah.
Woods? Hearing
Well-
everybody talk about their story and how
Right, it got my brain just flowing with all this stuff. So I was working at Amigos when I first started barber school. And I got tired of doing that. I got tired of serving tables. I got tired of being someone who I wasn't. Like I had to be a professional, but I couldn't be myself in the professional manner. But now at the barber shop, I can be me, and I myself am a professional. You know what I mean? So I carry myself as a professional, but I am still myself in the instance because I can just be me genuinely, and it's accepted, and everybody enjoys it, and it creates a great service. So I feel like it's just what I was meant to do, in the instance.
So, for lack of a better word, you feel like you got some pride with what you're doing. You're proud of what you do.
Oh yeah,
you're
most definitely, most definitely, yeah. Yes, sir.
I mean,
Yes, sir.
I remember as for me, I basically wanted to start my own business at a young age. And I remember speaking to this guy, it might have been 10, 8, 9, 10. And he said, any business that you want to succeed in, you have to be happy with it. You have to be happy at it. And it's something that you're good at. And think about that. And I didn't know exactly what that business would be. And it's interesting because I never liked cutting my hair when I was a little kid. And at one point, I just started to love getting haircuts. And I want to get a hair every 5 days. And I enjoy cutting my hair. So I went to the barber shop. And I remember the guy who was the last barber actually cutting my hair before I decided I'm going to start cutting my hair myself. And he cut it. And I watched his step. I watched his whole game plan, from him grabbing the clippers, from him spinning around, sanitizing his hands, how his hat was on. He had the smart. I remember this guy like clear in detail.
Yeah, all them little details he had in there.
Yeah, and I'm watching him cut my hair, and with the straight line, the tools that I implement today in teaching how to cut hair, and drawing a straight line, his transition line, and he's going up another transition line, and he's starting to fade, and he's doing this thing and using the comb, the brush, the clippers, and I'm like, I'm gonna go home. Next time I need a haircut, I'm gonna borrow somebody, my neighbor's clippers, and cut my hair. And I did it. And then every 4 or 5 days after that, I wanted a haircut.
Do you still?
No,
Do you think he has any idea
he
the
has
impact that he had on you?
he has no idea.
Man.
He has no idea. And then it was also my mother too, where she wanted a haircut, and she was like, "Can you give me a haircut?" I was like, "Nah, not really. I don't think I can do this." I was a little nervous, a little scared, and then I guess she just wanted to instill some confidence in me, like, "Hey, you can do it." And I cut her hair, and she said it was great, and I lit up. So I was like, "What?" And I might have been around 12 and 12, 13. So I was like, "Okay, if I cut my
That
mother's,
early.
yeah, if I cut my mother's hair, I could do whatever."
Yeah,
It's the magic number.
Yeah,
12, 12 years
yeah.
old.
Yeah, it really is.
So, so then, I mean, it was just trying to hone my skills from that age. Cutting my hair, cutting the neighbor's hair, cutting the kids around the neighborhood, different people around me needed a haircut, and just getting better. It was just fun. It was just so fun. I remember just being joyous. I had a good time doing it because it's people don't realize it's artwork.
Right. That's how I felt when I first started cutting hair. Like I used to cut my friends' hair, my grandfather, my uncles, and all that stuff, and I just had a great time doing it, you know. And somewhere along the line, that fell out of my mind, and then I started working. But yeah, that feeling that you were talking about, I felt that too, you know, like feeling of pure joy, like just like it's a hobby, you know.
And again, shout out to Feed Spot for having Barber College Success, top 25 barber content podcasts in the world. Number one in the U.S. as far as barber college content. Again, FeedSpot, thank you for that top 25. And we rank them in all of the podcasts, barber podcasts around the country and the world. That's impressive. For little old Johnson, see, I didn't see it coming, but hey, we have some great content out there. Follow us on YouTube too and Spotify. Check us out. Like us. Share the post. Share it. Subscribe to it, and check us out. But getting back to the lecture at hand, I'm listening to everybody speak and the twinkle and the smile that everyone has on their face, talking about this profession. I've been in this profession almost 25 years now, and Kate, you've been in it 3 months, and you still have that same twinkle and that joy that I have. That's impressive. What do you guys think?
I mean, I feel like I don't think you lose it. I don't think you can lose it. I mean, unless you just, I don't. It would have to be something drastic. But I like Kay said, I was never ambitious about anything. Maybe athletics, but even that, like I still look back and I'm like, I wasn't even like that. So for me, like this has been one of the few times in my life that I wanted to grow at something, like wanted to
Right.
actually be good. And I don't know if it's so much as peer pressure, like being around great barbers or people that do cut hair that just makes you want to just like, oh man, I gotta get better and just keep that drive going. I think that's one part of it, but and I can't even think of what motivates me now. Like I just love it so much that it's enough. I don't even need motivate. I just love it.
Well, it's your next canvas. It's your next canvas.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that though. I like that you pointed out it's like kind of competitive, but almost in like a friendly way. At least if you're at the right place, because we all know some places can be kind of toxic. But I mean, it is kind of like you keep looking over at the next guy, and you're like, "Dang, he's doing that. I want to learn to get that good and even better." And so you challenge yourself.
Right.
I mean, that's one way to get better. I mean, it's good to
Mm.
have a rival or somebody that you can admire or
I
or
mean, that's
something
more
like
like it's more like
mentor.
some yeah, it's like somebody you look up to, but you want to eventually get to their level and beyond.
And
Like you
understand
don't
it
want to
too.
be just that level.
And understand it too. When you start school, it's going to be a process. It's something that it's an acquired skill, something that you're learning. So you're not going to come out and boss it out right away. Because most people expect to come out and boss it out and think that their first month, if they not dropping blurry fades or, or sick haircuts, it's not for them.
You probably won't.
I mean, it's a process, as we were talking
First
about before
haircuts
you
are
even get
rough.
online. I even I can remember like yesterday. Me and Chris had a conversation, and talk about that conversation, Chris, outside the office when you was about to.
Oh man, like I was about to just quit barber school, you know, like I was about to quit that day right there. I was just fed up with it. Like it got me like I was frustrated with this one cut, this one client. Like it just got me out of shape. And then Craig was like, "You gotta follow the process, Chris. Just follow the process." And like talked me back into staying, and now I'm working in the shop and all that stuff.
and enjoying the benefits of barbering.
Most definitely so. It, it's well worth those few months of struggle for a lifetime of happiness and joy, and giving out that happiness and joy is well worth that. You know.
So I'll share this moment. I don't know if Chris wanted me to share it, but Chris Chris is real cool. So one day Chris texts me, he's like, "Craig, but I got a $200 tip." I was like, "What?"
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, "Man, I've never got $200. What you doing to get 200?"
But no, like she waited tables on me when months prior for me for her coming in and me cutting her hair. So I'm cutting her hair. We're having this conversation like it was all in the conversation because her son is in the same situation as my father. So we kind of leveled out, you know what I mean, and started talking about that stuff and like trying to lift each other up and understand that. And she was like, you know what? I want to bless you for this because you gave me a different mind space of because I was really depressed when I came in here thinking about my son, you know. And then she wanted to bless me the best way that she could, and not you know. And she had plenty more to give, so I didn't feel bad for accepting it. But you know, like it was just like we leveled out, you know, and it became like one, you know, like it was
That's a
that
beautiful
feeling.
thing, man.
Yeah.
Like she just the only way she could bless you is just drop a couple hundreds on you.
Right, right.
But that's also another because you connected with her and you probably might have changed your life for real. I mean, because you never
Right.
know what somebody comes in and what they're dealing with and how they're going to act or react to something. And sometimes the way they react could be devastating, you know. And
Right.
and maybe she had something devastating on her mind that you turned her mind away from it. That's
And one
awesome.
of the things I like about barbering, one of the things that interests me a lot, is just the conversations I've had with my clients over the years.
Most definitely. The conversations are endless.
Yeah, that was something for me too. Like I've always just enjoyed people. Like it didn't really matter what I was doing as long as I was with people that I liked and
Mhm.
anyhow. So I really look forward to getting to
It's
boost
coming.
my people skills, I guess,
It's
for
coming.
whoever comes into my chair.
I think
Yeah.
that's the thing I look forward to the most going to work. Literally, it's just I feel like I've cut somebody new just about every day I've been at the new job, which I have, and
Yeah.
they're all got like their own story, and it's kind of cool to hear some of them. You know, all of them, but some of them are just like
Some of
especially
'em.
cool.
Right, right.
Yeah, I catch myself there. That sounds really rude. Like, he's just okay. But no, like that's been like my favorite thing about barbering so far is just hearing people start to, especially when they start to trust you a little bit more and want to start talking like
They open up.
they open up and you learn more about them. I think that's
Yeah.
been like the coolest thing.
Yeah, you get that community that everyone craves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
And you,
Because the thing is, the people you will meet, the network that you will have, and the relationships that you will build in this industry, it's priceless. You cannot put a price on
You've been priceless for me. I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't even imagine like just in the circumstance of meeting you. I know we haven't talked about that on the podcast, but the crazy circumstances of just meeting you and not knowing from who you were from day like at all from Adam, but me reaching out, asking for help, and you willing to help anybody that comes across you connected us to that point. I mean, I didn't even know what Craig looked like. Just messaged the Crown Cuts Instagram page. I was like, yo, I got to take a test. I need help. And then boom, look where we're at right now.
Right.
It's a blessing.
It's impressive. And again, I'm not even gonna stop there. You think $200 was the last part? Chris texted me again one day. He said, "Craig, I got $100." Somebody I'm like, "Let's go. What you doing, man? What are you doing to get this?"
Let me get the necklace.
to be honest, but to be honest with you though, like I wasn't always this conversational. You know what I mean? Barbering has taught me how to have a good conversation because before, like I was always an introvert, you know. But barbering took the introvert and threw it away, and now I'm an outrovert. I'm very very out. Like
That's good.
it just changed the way I am completely. You
I'm
know.
an introvert too, and I think Craig, you said you're an introvert.
Yeah.
Would you
Craig,
consider
you're an
yourself an
introvert.
introvert? Both.
I
Okay.
mean,
what about
it-
you? What do you think?
Oh, I'm an introvert.
Okay, I think that's something about that. I don't know. I feel like there's something there about that.
I mean, initially I was, but I was kind of put on the spot to be an extrovert
Me too.
Yeah.
But
because it was kind of like, hey, we want to find out about you. We want to know you seem real interesting. Tell me more. And the more people ask you and pull stuff out of you, it almost comes second nature where they're teaching you how to be an extrovert when they're trying to pull
Right.
information out.
Right. Most definitely.
Yeah. So, I mean,
I also just think like our generation, yours too, Craig, for the most part, but like ours, we're so used to like being behind a keyboard or playing on Xbox or something like that. We don't know how to talk like person to person as much.
Right.
It's funny you said that because the reason I went to San Antonio was to go to a wedding of a guy I played Xbox with for years.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, we met a couple times. He was working for Jacksonville Jaguars, but now he works for Miami Dolphins. But he invited me to his wedding, and I met him twice before. And his friends that were there, actually, I knew on Xbox for years too, and it's the first time I met them. So it's funny you said that.
But
interesting.
That's
like it, yeah, I mean, you get stuff like that, sure. But like when you get face to face with people and you're used to just being able, like, there's no face attached. Now they can see you. Like it kind of makes you second guess everything you say. When in truth, like as long as you're friendly, people will just sit there and talk.
Be you.
Yeah,
Right.
just be you. Like that was the hardest thing for me to get over in all actuality. I mean, other than just self confidence, but I mean that's kind of been another cool thing with the whole journey. Like Craig talks about all the time is just seeing people come out of that shell.
You got that swag now. You got your swag, Tristan's swag. You find
Man, I don't
yourself.
know if I can call what I got on right now swag, but I guess
I mean,
looks like everybody stepped out at the beach.
you don't know how you mold in people's lives and careers, you know what I mean? Because again, with this podcast, I've had several different people who have sent me messages and said, "Hey, man, Craig, thank you for this podcast. The content is real dope. You're doing a really great job. As long as you're gonna put podcasts out, I'm listening. I'm starting barber school in 2 weeks. Craig, this podcast is blah blah blah. Thank you, Craig. This podcast is blah blah. Thank you." And I got one last night, and he sent me this long message, and I got to respond to him today. And he's asking about barber school and what to expect. So I'm going to share some of the stuff with him, and he may be able to listen to this podcast and get a gist of it. But the key, what I tell people is, the first month it's confusing. You don't know what you're doing.
Yep.
The
I like
first,
that, Kate.
yeah.
Yeah, for the most part.
I mean, you beating yourself up because you're thinking that you're supposed to be better than who you are, and then you comparing yourself to the senior students.
But that goes back to like we're kind of bred now. Like we gotta think there's like a quota you gotta meet, like a standard. Like there is a standard, of course, in some things, but when you're learning it, there's no standard. Like everybody learns at their own rate, like you told me.
Everybody starts bad. You're
Yeah,
saying it, for
no,
the most part, unless
everybody
you was
starts
cutting
bad.
early. Yeah.
But you got to get out of your head like that. You're just suddenly it's gonna click. Some people it does happen, but not everybody. I definitely wasn't one of them. Woods, were you one of them? Like just out of nowhere, you just woke up 3 weeks in, it's like blurry fades only.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, it takes time.
Never
Even
that.
even with your shares, you know what I mean. It takes time. Even with your clip of a comb, you know what I mean.
I was bad, Kate.
Share
It was
of a
bad.
comb.
I was tearing people's heads up. It was bad.
It,
Yeah,
it takes it takes. You almost have to see it unrefined first to know what a refined haircut is,
Yeah.
and it's okay because the cool thing is everyone is different. Every barber is going to have his own style because, like you alluded to in the beginning of the podcast, we all come from intricate and different backgrounds. But it's okay. It's okay. It's okay to get out of homeschool and 3 months ago say, you know what, I want to be a barber. It's okay. It's okay to start at 8 or 12 and say, you know what, this is interesting for me just from cutting. But these stories are what's going to make people understand that, you know what, this industry is cool. It don't matter where you're from, who you with, male, female, whatever gender you are. Hey, you can jump in this industry and it'll be good to you.
Yeah.
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 It'll be good for you.
Yeah, something that I've noticed was, well, you guys were talking about how you like expect to be really good right off the bat, and like, I kind of did. I'm half out of the headspace. I haven't cut any heads and messed them up bad enough to really, oh man, I'm really bad. I got to improve. But something that I've noticed is everybody in my class is really just accepting, and they're like, we've all been there. We get it. You're not going to know what's going on. We're with you. We'll help you out. We'll guide you. and teach you, and it's been really great. I've already learned a lot, and I've only cut like 2 heads.
And that's what it's about.
It's fun for me because now I get to teach at the school and seeing people so vulnerable, like the first time being bad at something, and like you can kind of see it on their face, like that kind of like help me, like look, like what do I do next? And it's funny because everybody gets to laugh at it because everybody got to be there. So
Everybody.
I'm not laughing at you because I'm laughing with you because I remember when somebody was helping me and I'm like, just touching somebody's head was weird. You know what I'm saying? Like just like, you know, just that was
that is like crazy whenever you first start and you're having to ask other people for help, and then you just have that one day you're the senior student and someone says, "Hey man, can you help me?" And you just, dude, when that happened to me, I looked at Craig, it's like, can I help him? I can't. Like, I knew what to do.
You want me?
Yeah.
But that's the evolution of it, and that's the good part of it because it's like a cycle. It goes around, and everybody's looking at the couple students who we have in school right now who are about to graduate, and everybody's like, "Man, there." And I remind them, he was like you once. He was struggling. He used to panic. He used to hide and run from haircuts. She wasn't as good as she was now, and you have to understand that, and that's why I tell students, even to this day, hey, when I took my test, I failed the first 2 times for the state board test, but it's okay. It's not. It didn't stop me from opening the shop. It didn't stop me from opening the school. It didn't stop me from opening 2 schools. You just have to keep pushing. Understand that this journey is a process, but it's also going to be fun. All the headaches, all the heartaches of you trying to become a barber, it's going to help mold you and make you understand that process was good.
You can laugh at it later.
You,
Laugh at your
like you're
mistakes.
doing right now.
Exactly.
Yeah. And you understand, hey, I put too much pressure on myself.
We had a few of those. We had a few of those talks, didn't we, Craig?
Yeah.
A few might be an understatement.
Me and Craig still have those conversations.
Yeah.
To this day, you putting too much pressure on yourself, Chris.
Because what people don't realize, you can't shortcut the process. You have to get a month in. You have to get 3 months in. You have to get 8 months in. You have to get a year in. You have to get 2 years in. You have to get 3 years in, and you constantly learn, and it'll be something different. But you can't expect to be the best barber in 1 month and compare yourself to a barber who's been doing it for a year. It's almost disrespectful to be there for 2 months and compare yourself to a barber who's been doing it there for 5 years and expect your skills to be up to his. What you're saying is that those 5 years, it wasn't nothing, and you expect to be on the same level as him as 2 months, 3 months? It's impossible.
Or one at all when a barber has been doing for 20 plus years.
Yeah.
One what he has.
And I tell students
Yeah,
that
no
all the
kidding.
time. Relax. It's okay. It's a lot to learn. Like you said, Chris, about you learn to be a barber.
Oh, you learn to cut hair in school. You learn to be a barber in the shop.
Right.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
then there's still a curve to learn how to cut hair as well, too, as you in the shop.
Most definitely, most definitely. You know, like there's different tier of barbers. You know what I mean? You gotta climb up the ranks, so to speak. You know, like when you're in school, you're the intermediate. When you get to the shop, you're way better than you were when you first started, but you still have so much more to grow and so much more to learn. You know?
Right.
And Craig's favorite, the Renegade Barber. We heard that a lot too.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about those.
The quitters.
The renegade barbers. The renegade barbers is a term we use for barbers who don't want to go get their license. It's okay. Hey, man, we love the industry so much. As long as you're cutting,
Y'all
do-
okay?
We still accept those.
yeah,
guys.
do
okay.
it the right way. Just get right.
They gotta raise their hand when they talk. Boys. You get to speak, but we go to be called on.
And again, if you have any questions, and you listen to this podcast, you can hit me up, Craig Charles, on Instagram or Facebook, or hit us up at Crown Cuts Academy, JC, on Facebook. Follow and like the page. Just send a direct message. I'll get back to you as quick as possible. And again, shout out to FeedSpot for ranking us and listing at the top 25 barber podcast in the world, and number 2, actually, in the world. And I mean, when you hear that, what do you think about that? Am I? I mean, I didn't expect it. I mean,
I think
I
that's
appreciate
wild.
it. That is.
That's crazy. You think about the whole world, and you think about how many barbers or hairstylists there is, and then I mean, people bring back podcasts every day. I forget what the statistic was, but during the pandemic, podcasts were coming out left and right. So you can only imagine how many barber podcasts there or hairstylist podcasts there are. It's crazy. And also think about Friday, not the city world, Craig. So, as every time you say, I can't say it, but think about Day, not the city, the world.
The world. Oh man, that's looking live. What do you think, Kate? Being in one of the top 25 podcasts.
You know, I didn't know what I was getting into. Craig just said you should come be on the podcast, and I was like, podcast. I've never done anything like that before, you know. So I was a little nervous when I first came in here. I was like, looked at that, and I was thinking to myself, people are gonna hear me. Like, I didn't think that anyone was gonna listen, but like, man, there are people listening to this. That's so weird. Right now, that's so weird.
How many
Hello,
actual
everybody.
countries do we have, Lathan? Just to yeah.
Okay.
What do you think, Chris?
I thought it was gonna be different between the first time I come in here and now. I thought I was gonna have too much pressure up on me. And then when I come in, I sat down, I realized that everybody was just as chill as I was, but it never ceased to amaze me, Craig. You know what I'm saying? You always got something going on.
I mean, but the thing is barbering is at a level right now where it's just like boom. It's just like, you know what I mean? So I feel and I think that people who want to get into it, they're always on the fence and not knowing. So they need some information to make them feel comfortable. And if we can give them some information, firsthand account to make them feel comfortable, why not? And again, it's something I started just to I thought it would be fun, and it is fun. Something that I like, and I'm like, okay. And I didn't imagine it getting to this spot, but hey,
It makes it cool too, because you take everybody from your veteran, 20 plus years shop owner, barber, bring them on, or you got your Maya, you brought her on first day
Yeah.
of school. And I was like, where you going? You leaving already? She's like, I'm going to podcast. I was like, word?
Yeah.
First day? Okay.
Her first day, Kate, so she came.
Is that the
Oh.
one about anxiety or whatever?
Yes.
That was a good one. I listened. It was a good one.
I
Yeah.
listened to that one this morning.
Her
but-
fir-
I wasn't on that one.
This
That was the one built for me, Craig.
guy
You
wants to
had
be
me on
on.
talking about taxes and everything else. I hadn't done it yet.
This guy wants to be on every podcast.
Yeah, I like it. Apparently my voice is being heard for once.
Yeah, I mean that's what's up. What do you think, Landon, when you see that ranking?
I didn't know there's 25 podcasts in the world on Barber. To be honest with
Yeah, who
you,
would have thunk it?
who would have thought that?
It's more than that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're number 2.
Yeah, that's him.
We're the Clemson of the barbering college and barbering podcast of the world.
Hey,
We're
You
number
probably
2.
think of 32 countries.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's a lot.
32.
Oh my gosh, that's
Wow.
insane. What?
That's
I don't think I can
impressive.
name 32 countries.
It's so weird because like there's nobody here. We're just like chilling in a studio, but so many people are hearing it.
Yeah, we are in
When I-
downtown Johnson
In
City.
East Tennessee.
Downtown Johnson
in
City.
East Tennessee, just
Yeah.
chilling, and there's a bunch of people listening to us. I'm a little bit more nervous
I
now.
mean, but
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild.
but it's important to give the content to people, let them understand that hey, it's okay to choose this industry. This industry is a great industry, and what you put in is what you're gonna get out. And my hope for people starting to think of coming into this barber industry or even cosmetology, nails, aesthetics, maximize your time. Do research, maximize your time. And when you get to school, don't take it for granted. Give your all. Because a lot of people come to schools and they take it for granted. You are practicing and learning an acquired skill to give you a career.
That's
Enjoy
it.
it too while you're there.
Mhm.
I think that's the number one thing, because if you can't enjoy yourself at school, you really won't be able to enjoy yourself at a shop, in my opinion.
Mhm.
Right.
School's laid back. School's so much more laid back than getting into a shop, man.
Embrace it, because
Yeah.
once you get in the shop, like you don't get the same room for error that you get.
Nah, that's the other thing.
And you don't get the same, like sometimes you get into a place to where you lose ambition. I won't say ambition, but it gets kind of stale. Like I've been cutting for like 3 years now, and I've felt that like you feel like same haircut, seeing the same people.
Yeah.
and it gets kind of stale. But when you're in school, it's like you don't feel that yet because you never know what's gonna walk through the door. You never know what you're gonna see, what you're gonna deal with, But one day at a time.
Indeed. So, being on the podcast for the first time, what was your feeling, Nikki? How do you feel?
I feel good.
What do you expect, and what surprised you about the podcast?
I, I don't even know what I expected. I've never done like this. I've never seen anything like this done either.
When you told your mom you was going to on the podcast, what did she think? What did she say?
I don't think she knew what to think either. Like she thought it was cool. She didn't know. Like, Chris, one of my fellow students, Chris was like, "You were invited already. That's an honor, man." And that was like what sold it for me. I was like, "Okay, all right, sure, I'll try this out."
Are your parents listening, watching?
Probably not right now.
Okay. So
eventually, yes. Not right now.
We've been on it almost an hour. It hasn't even seemed like it's been an hour.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah. So all good things have to come to an end. And what are some of the what did you get from this podcast? Starting with you, Kate. We'll go around. What did you get or learn from this podcast?
I got to meet new people.
I just realized that we all essentially started for the same reasons. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Like we all had the same starting point, like
We all had that spark, that ambition.
right,
Yeah.
right. Well, I'm talking about us all. Like we all had the one moment where I was like, we're going to do this now. You know what I'm saying? Like that one moment that just a flip a switch and like that was it.
And if you are on the fence, let this be your moment.
Right.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Because a lot of people are like, they don't understand the industry. Because most people think you just go into a school and all you do is cut all day. That's all you do is just cut. Just cut. And you become a barber.
That like Kate said, that soul scene, that hit deep for me.
Mhm.
And I've been doing it. And when and the coolest part, I think, about the whole thing, the most memorable part for me was when he asked him, "What you want? You always want to be a barber?" He's like, "No, I want to be a doctor or something." He said, "I want to be a vet." Yeah, he said, "I want to be a vet." He said, "I'm out here, helping about lives, and I thought that was really cool how they put so much of a deep moment into that. Like there was so much emphasis on
Yes.
that barbershop, and I think that if you haven't seen the movie, you should go watch the movie. Who I think is Pixar made it, but you should definitely check it out.
What are you? I didn't mean to cut you off, Chris. What are you saying?
Like just in essence, like we all had that same
Spark.
like that same kick to go forward. Like the same, in essence, reasoning behind it. But we're all different. But it was still the same thing. Like
What about you, Landon?
I mean, I think the thing I've taken away from like this day I hadn't really ever thought about is that a lot of people are going to be like how I kind of tried to explain earlier. We all had a job we hated, and we got tired of that old system, like clock in at this time, leave at this time. You'll make this much money for working this amount of time. We got tired of that empty feeling.
Being a barber is like taking a red pill in the Matrix.
Dude, it really is. I swear. I've used that same analogy with some people. They're like, "What's it like being a barber?" I'm like, "Listen, what do you work right now?" And they tell me it's like 9 to 5 at a bank. I'm like, "Cool. What if I walked in and just here's the blue pill, here's the red pill. If you eat the red pill, you'll be free. You'll be able to make as much money as you want
What
to."
happened? What'd you say, Kate?
How far will you go down the rabbit hole, right?
I
We're
mean,
going down there right now. But
I mean-
yeah, it's just like that's cool to me because I always like think it's going to be like me and Woods, where we worked kind of entry level jobs and decided we wanted to do something different and make something of ourselves, and that's what sparked this, was just to get out of that situation. But then you've got you had a pretty decent job from what I know of that
It's
field.
all right.
I mean, decent from an outsider looking in again, but it wasn't what you wanted to do, and it's like anyone else, you kind of felt trapped, right?
I did. I mean, it literally trapped. It was a prison. I was in prison.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But you're right. I mean, it got to feel like that was suffocating, man. Like I felt like I was right there on the. I don't say on the end of the rope, but like I felt like if I stayed another year where I was, then that's where I was going to be for the rest of my life. If I had wasted another moment of my time, if I went another extra day or extra hour, that might have been too many. I might still be stuck there. So for all y'all on the fence, take the leap.
Yeah. Find your Lawrence Fishburne.
And it's interesting because everybody jumped in it at a different time. You know what I mean? Hey, Kate, right out of high school, homeschool at that. Chris, you was out of high school.
About 2 or 3 years
Yeah,
before.
and Landon, you was out of school and had a career, had a job, and MIU was out of school, had a career, a long career, a good career, and then you're like, hey, this is let me check this out. And once you get into it, you'll see the joy. I mean, I can't explain and describe the joy that I have, and I still have it to today. And I opened my barbershop in 2004. And I opened the school in 2017, and the second school during the pandemic, 2020 December. And there's that joy still. I don't have a day where I don't want to go to work. There's not a day where I don't want to have a conversation about barbering with students or anyone on the street. You want to talk about barbering? Let's talk about it. Yeah, if you want to sit and talk about clippers all day, let's do it.
Thank you, Craig. I was sitting there thinking about all the people that you probably inspired or helped achieve their goals right now. And that's probably, I can only imagine probably hundreds maybe at this point.
Well, I hope it keeps growing.
And then in different countries now.
Yeah, I hope it keeps growing. And in our country, it's broad as well. You know what I mean? So we pushing metrics in the United States, all counties in Tennessee, on the East Coast, on the West Coast, up north, in the South. So the content what we pushing for people to inspire people is, again, I just hope I get someone to spark and said, hey, I started a career that I love. I am doing something that I like, and I'm not stressed about it. Because mental health, which we are part of, it creates so many things when you are not happy where you are. You're going through doing things that is unbecoming. Find some passion in something. Find some soul, some oomph, and you be like, man, I had a good day today. So when you get off, you happy, and then when it's time to get back to work, you take 2 days off. You can't wait to go back to the shop. You can't wait to turn those clippers on and hear that, and then you cutting again. That's the joy for me.
Right. So when I had COVID a couple months back, like I was out of work for 2.5 weeks, and like I was itching to get back in the shop and get back into the routine of things, get back to hearing that get back to just cutting hair. Like I felt like a part of me was missing.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm back at it. So that's all right.
Again, well, everything must come to an end. What are your last words, Emma, before we close out?
Lasting words. Hold on, let me get this right. Okay. If you take the red pill, you go in Wonderland, and we see how far the rabbit hole goes.
No doubt.
Just take the pill. Right now, if you're working that job that you hate, this might, I won't say right now is your last chance, but it's definitely a chance. It's a chance.
Hi guys. I'm still thinking about how so many people are listening. It's just wild. Anyway.
What are your lasting words, Chris?
Lasting words is just stay focused and jump off that ledge and like go forward into your barbering career. Like make that first step to do it, man.
I just want to say I'm proud of you because in my head, what I've counted, we didn't even hit double digits this time on the chicken sandwich comments. This is a monumental moment in this podcast's run.
I just got tired of giving Pub the Popeyes all the time.
Unless they want to sponsor.
Unless they want to sponsor, they don't show us no love. We go by Popeyes all the time. Hey, the chicken sandwich gotta be fire. Popeyes, if you listen, spread some love. NJC. But again, Barber College Success brought to you by Craig Charles of Crown Cuts Academy JC, Crown Cuts Academy Bristol, and Craig's Crown Cuts Downtown JC. Spreading love the Johnson City way. Spreading love is the only way we know how to do it. And it is the Crown Cuts way. Next week, we're going to have a banging episodes. We're going to talk about fitness. Again,